Shannon Briggs, 6'4", 261. Regardless of the home in Florida, he is Brooklyn through and through. 33 years old. A lot of people will say, wow, he's been around a long time, but he's only 33. 41, 4-1 with 35 knockouts, and there's his last 5. He has only fought twice in the past 2 years. He took part in a K1 match, but those days are behind him now. He is dedicated to leave that legacy as a fighter now. All 5 of the knockout wins that you saw, they came after the loss to Jameel McCline in 2002.
Ackerman.
And there is Abraham Okine. He is also 33 years old, but with a late start to his pro career, this only the 15th fight. He is a perfect 14-0, 8 knockouts, that against limited competition. His last 5, 1 year ago, he fought Buster Douglas's brother William. This group that you're looking at has only 22 combined wins. The ring experience between Briggs and Okine. And Teddy, it speaks volumes. Now you see why Shannon Briggs says he was so insulted that Okine's team chose to fight him. They went out and sought Shannon Briggs. Abraham Okine, told you about his life in Ghana. He wrestled a lion at a wildlife preserve in Africa, saved a woman's life. Years later, he was visiting a zoo in Pittsburgh, and his manager said, let's take a picture next to the lion. So he started climbing into the enclosure. They had to pull him back and said, you don't do that in this country. He's a tough guy.
Did the lion have teeth?
It did indeed.
Okay. And claws?
The whole 9 yards, scheduled for 10 rounds. Charlie Fitch is your referee.
Come on. You both know the rules. Let's go. I want a clean fight. Come out fighting at the bell. Touch him up.
10-round main event.
Over 500 combined pounds of humanity touching them up. Big Shannon Briggs, he starts fast. Early in his career, he racked up a lot of them. First-round knockouts, 25 in the career of Shannon Briggs.
As we've said many times, most of Okine's fights have been in West Virginia, a soft commission state where you can build records. Huge step up for Okine. Hasn't had anything in his career to prep him for this. He's fought many opponents.
Fought Tony Tubbs when he was 45 years old, and they traded knockdowns in the first round. Right hand comes in.
Well, so far, Okine has shown a decent chin, getting caught a looping right hand.
They trade left hands. Now a right hand over the top from Shannon Briggs, and Okine goes down. Shannon Briggs caught him.
Well, we talked about it. It's like a warning label. You know, on a cigarette pack, the Surgeon General says this can be unhealthy for your life. Well, a warning label on the record of Okine. He has a split decision win over 4-5-1 fighter.
There's a cut over the left eye of Shannon Briggs.
Again, fighters that build their records in states like West Virginia, that record can mean very little, or actually quite a lot.
Second knockdown scored of this first round from Briggs.
Briggs showing he can do it both ways, Joe. He can lead and he can counter. And a cut in the corner. A cut in the corner of the left eye of Briggs.
There's that cut that was started just before that first knockdown he scored. Another right hand over that left. Briggs has already scored 2 knockdowns in this first round. There is no 3 knockdown rule in effect. We're using the unified rules here in upstate New York.
The right hand very effective for Briggs because Okine very cooperative and very kind. Putting his head on the right side, Joe, right in the alleyway of the right hand. Watch where Okine, after he throws a jab, look where he lays his head, right there in the punching lane of the right hand, on his right side. He should lay the head on the left side, outside the right hand. Watch again. Okine, when he makes a defensive move, will lay his head on the right. where the right hand can find its mark by Briggs. Now where Briggs has to be careful is not to stand at the ends of the punches of Okine, who throws the wide variety, and not pull his head back. Because when you pull back from wide punches, you can actually pull into the punch.
Shannon Briggs said he wanted to start fast. When I went into the locker room before the fight, he said, have the ambulance ready quick. And now Charlie Fitch is going to look over that cut above the left eye in the closing moments here of this first round. Dr. Arman Sinkota takes a quick look, sends them back out to do their business. That cut right above the corner of that left eye. Closing moments of what has been a big first round for Shannon Briggs. He gets him again. Okine saved by the bell. Stumbling
into him. Stay in. Go in.
Rough first round for Abraham Okine.
You got him cut. Abraham, work your way in with the jab.
Here's what happened at the end of the first round when Briggs was very close to scoring a third knockdown, and Okine was hurt, Teddy.
Well, you're going to see the same thing. The right hand, you're going to see the same reason why. There's a left hook, starts it, and the right hand continues to crash home, and that time just pushing the spaghetti-legged Okine to the floor. But the right hand can't miss because Okine lays his head on his right side in the punching lane for Briggs. All Briggs has to do actually is feint to jab a little bit, get Okine to slip his head to the right, and then time him with the right hand. Not even bother wasting a punch. Just feint to jab, get Okine to move his head to the right, and then drill him with the right hand, go home.
Big numbers in that first round, scored 2 knockdowns, had him hurt at the end. He was 26 out of 40 on his power connects with Shannon Briggs. 33-year-old actor who just finished filming Transporty 2's going to be in the new Miami Vice with Jamie Foxx and Colin Farrell. He's in a starring role here as he continues his comeback, trying to get into the heavyweight ranks. Shannon Briggs. That cut over the left eye was caused by a punch in the first round. It was looked at for a moment. They got it under control. And now he's taking his time, being cautious here, looking for that opportunity. The right hand has been there.
Okine has come in 4.5 pounds more than his last fight, the heaviest of his career tonight. Funny way to come in to the biggest fight of your career with the toughest opponent by far.
There's a lead left hand from Shannon Briggs. And a few steps back again from Abraham Okine. Undefeated fighter who was in with limited competition. This a big step up and a big dose of reality in the first round for Okine.
The cut in the corner of the left eye of Briggs still bleeding.
There's a nice stinging jab from Shannon Briggs. Not as active here in the first minute and a half of this second round compared to the way he came out of the gate in the first round.
And Okine not as durable as I had first thought. Jabs are shaking him. His legs still not set underneath him.
So it's easier to tackle a lion and save a woman's life than it is to be in with Shannon Briggs.
Especially if the lion doesn't have claws or teeth. Briggs has shown going into this fight he can compete with good fighters. He's lost at that level, but he's been able to compete with top guys. Okine, because coming in here, gave us and himself, more importantly, no idea that he could perform at the next level. And don't think that's not in the head of Okine right now, that he doesn't belong here at this level. See, that's the most important thing, not just physically, but mentally. He had no idea if he could have the answers with this kind of opposition. Briggs did know that he can deal with it. That's important going into this kind of fight. Knowing where you fit, knowing what you can handle and what you have handled versus not knowing.
Coming to the end of round number 2 between Shannon Briggs and the unbeaten, for the moment, Abraham Okine. Talk about 90s flashbacks of heavyweights from those glory days. Tommy Morrison, former heavyweight titleist Tommy Morrison. Of course, we're watching Shannon Briggs, a name that was in the mix of those 90s heavyweight battles. Of course, Briggs likes to say that he was the linear heavyweight champion when he beat George Foreman, because George was stripped of the belts when he had that controversial decision when Briggs came up with the win over Big George.
Briggs took off the last round, and
indeed he did, Teddy.
in my mind, that's the only thing that has kept Okine here for us in our views in the third. Some doubt in Briggs' mind being so heavy.
After that big first round where he scored the 2 knockdowns and was 31 of 53, he was only 13 of 25 in that second round in his punches connected. He was away from the game. Now there's a couple of left hands and a big right hand. And Okine goes flopping down to the canvas for the third time.
And probably too much time left.
Just under 2 minutes to work with for Shannon Briggs. Let's see if Okine can survive it.
Maybe not the greatest chin for Okine, but plenty of
That's it.
Getting up, forcing the referee to do his job, and seeing that Okine would just be cannon fodder. It was just a matter of Briggs moving his hands after the first round. The second round, he took a break, probably because of his weight not being sure, thinking he had to pace himself, that Okine was still there. But the third round, going out and doing what he needed to do. Nothing complicated. Move his hand, and the talent showed. The difference, the disparity of experience and ability was glaring.
He made the comment that he needed to miss boxing. He said, I always loved the sport. I just started to hate the business. And now he has rededicated himself, and he had to love this evening's work.
As I said, a warning label. You buy a pack of cigarettes, it says Surgeon General warns you, could be bad for your health. Well, a warning label on the 14-0 record of Okine was a split decision win with a 4-5-1 fighter. But give Briggs credit. Went out there and did what you're supposed to do with a suspect opponent. An opponent who is not at your level.
Here's a look as to how he finished off the evening. Shannon Briggs' third round action.
Nothing complicated. After taking off the second round, which is what kept Okine in there, he went forward, moved his hands, doubled up, tripled up the hook, and then finished with the right hand. Okine was right there, standing straight up. Let's take another look. Nothing complicated. Okine standing there. Shannon overshooting him with a right hand at first, then getting his distance, doubling, tripling the hook up. First one didn't land, the second one did, and then finishing the show with the right hand. Okine standing straight up in that punching zone where Briggs could be so effective. One more look.
Seconds of the third round, referee Charlie Fitch halts the contest. Your winner by technical knockout, Shannon Briggs.
At 33, he has found that fire again. He said earlier he wants to leave a legacy in the sport. Maybe he gets a second chance to do just that. Scored 3 knockdowns in this fight against the previously undefeated Abraham Okine. Couple left hands, big thunderous right, and it's all over.